All right, Shalom Israel, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostle, elder, bishops, great millstone, my salutations to the brothers, teaching word for the hopeful elect, to the extended hopeful elect, Shalom blessings. Fairly quick video, getting that word family in the Latin, and apostles, elders encourage brothers to go into the Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. And I did a video dealing with the nations. The Most High is dealing with nations, and it mentions their tongue. It mentions some customs, and it's kind of crazy because even with the curses, we always mention in Deuteronomy 28 and 15 on down, dealing with the curses of brother against brother. And, it kind of makes me think, too, of some of the gang codes, like blood and cuz. Your blood is supposed to be your blood brother, your cousins, or they say folk, which is supposed to be your folks, your people. What's that other one, man? Even gangster disciples, your disciples, disciplined, comes from discipline, which means that's supposed to come from your family. Our families are supposed to be disciplined. They got neighborhood gangs, but that's supposed to be your neighbor, of your dwelling, of your own people. So, under the curses, man, that's why we those people. It says these curses shall be upon us, upon us as a sign forever. No man shall buy us. Deuteronomy 28:68. So, I looked up family in the Latin. Let me see if it pronounces it that way. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But Familiae, close as I can get. I don't know why it sounded. I thought family sounded different in Latin, but I might be mistaken. But anyway, you see some of the definitions: household, family, domestics. Household. So when they talk about domestic terrorism, they're talking about, we could live over here in America and be a domestic terrorist to America, because really we're not family with America. And that's why like I said, they've been having the police, former martial law against us. Jake don't get it. He think he's just in Disneyland, and this is one big family, a party of family. You got Jake's. Back then, in the 90s, when you asked Jake, what do you, if people think he was mixed or whatever, they say, what you mixed with? And Jake could just say, I'm mixed with Native American, Black Jakes mixed with Native American. He didn't say all, even though some of those, many of we have Irish brethren, but they didn't say they was mixed with white. They didn't say they was mixed with Irish. They didn't say, mixed with Italian. Even though we got Italian people, there are Jakes out there. Got a black Italians, what have you, or Jake Italians. But they don't understand when they say that. They think to them it's talking about the so-called white man. So, or what is that other one they say? Mixed with Dutch or French, So our people has become, very engaged in a family affair with America. You know, they're very, thinking that, you know, in the lifestyle. That's why it's wild, man. House, you know, it said in the scripture, it said by the house of their fathers, man. Let me get that scripture right quick. And what do, they take the father out the house. Who wear the genes supposed to be the man. Gene come from genealogy, your gene, your bloodline. You know, who because that was a thing. Who wear the genes? I think it was before who wear the pants. You know, house. I think it's in Numbers. Yeah. Yeah. Um, come on, man. It says, and this is going to war or anything else. Um, Numbers 1 and 4 said, number 1 and 2, take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers. So if you live in a city and it's all, they had a Key and Peele skit called Negro Town, and everybody was black, and everybody say, well, he did. It's no spoil because it's a skit, and I'm pretty sure all the brothers have seen it. But you can see it. You might want to see it. But he was, I think he got stopped by the police, and he started dreaming of a place that he can go without being bothered, without being treated unfairly. So, he dreamed of Negro Town, and they were all in the streets wearing bright color clothes and all in harmony, dancing and all that. And and I looked at the comments, and I was, people were saying like, "Damn, man, I wish we were all like this." Or even, that I mentioned when Jake looked into the '80s and '90s, like, damn, this is when we had it good. We were, you can go to a house party. They used to have house parties. Kid and Play, one of their biggest movies was House Party. Because usually, if you go to a house party, is, you know, you and your friends, you know, and everybody knew everybody's parents, what have you. In high school, if you have a house party and they come visit, you know, you you have a best friend or something, you're gonna eventually meet their parents. But of course, nobody really stays friends after high school. It's very even very uncommon to this day because everybody go different paths, you know, and um, because there's no structure in the home, man. You know, there's no structure. They took the men out the house. They put crack in the neighborhood. They destroyed Israel pretty much. You know, like a woman said on TV once before, they pillaged the village. Anyway, it says, by the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their poles. And it mentioned all the tribes, and it mentioned by the house of the fathers of Reuben, of Gad, and Simeon, and Ephraim, and Judah, and all the tribes, Benjamin, Levi. So, that's how you know this is a orchestrated hit and declaration of war against the children of Israel, which is so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans, because we're the only ones that have broken up families like that, with their father not being in the house, because they knew that that's how Israel got down. So you go back to Familia, fam, you know, family estate, brotherhood. You know, now if you have a brotherhood, you know, you grow up in the same family, same block, neighborhood, whatever, and then you start going through oppression, you start going through, and you gotta be like, well, let's figure out a way, best way to make some money. And somebody say, well, you know what, and then somebody say, well, we could all get jobs, save money, and all that. And somebody's gonna say, well, fuck that, man, because that'll never work. Because I tried that before, I did this, so I'm gonna sell drugs, you know. And then you get into all the kind of stuff that follows that lifestyle, like gang banging, territorial type of, you know, fashions of that lead to killing and all that. So, there's no structure and there's no money. There's no structure. There's no, you know, money to pass down. So there's no security. You know, there's no surety of life. And it says in the curses that we wouldn't be sure of our life. This so small has not. They don't experience this, man. And they're not scattered all across the world like Israel. And when it talks about scattered too, it's not only talking about like we're scattered in groups. No, we're scattered without an identity. We're scattered. Some of us are in low places than others. Some of us are in. Some of us, our people, they do fairly well here in America. And they completely separate themselves from the hood jakes. Which I don't really blame them. I mean, because but it can't be negative. You know, if it says try your brother, try your friend. You know, but so a lot of them niggas do rob in the hood, but not all. Not all. You know, a lot of them niggas did sell drugs in the hood, but not all. So you can't blame. You can't. You can't look at every man and every woman that's from the hood as a bad person. They might just be in a bad situation and get caught up in some bad things. But that's what these bougie ass, coon ass niggas look down at Jake as. We don't do that. But we do. There is a line with the Most High when it's concerning his elect. He don't want niggas in his ministry. He don't want thieves, robbers, and drug sellers in his ministry. Ain't got nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? You might have sold drugs before. You gotta leave that shit alone and come back to the Most High. But we don't look at you down at you because you once did it or you in that mode. We like you gotta get out of that. You know. But they look at some bougie ass coon Negroes and Latinos that hate overall hate Negroes, they own people. It says household, family, genus, kind, birth. Jacob got the birthright. And Jacob, he was the son of Isaac. Isaac was the son of Abraham. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, a bloodline. Esau got cast out, even though he was his brother. So that means Jacob is he got the birthright. He changed his name to Israel. That means Israel is the prime family, is the royal family, not the Edomites, not the Elamites, not the Moabites, not the Ammonites, not the Ishmaelites. Remember, because out of Ishmael and Isaac, Isaac was chosen. So Most High keeps just knocking these other nations upside the head, man, and have them as our servants, man. It says class. That's why it's classism in America, you know. Now Esau on this side, right now, Esau is the first class. He gets everything first. His people, he rules in everything. He get the money. He get the military. He get the he get the women. he get the finest women. You got some of the most natural finest women of Jake is with Esau and shit. And he supposed he came from the caves, man. You know, flying first class. Well, you gotta have money. You gotta make his money. You gotta have his money. You imagine making money, which we do now, and your people ain't on a dollar bill. So who are the people gonna respect that with power? The so-called white man. Now, if we were here on Earth and we had our faces on the dollar bill, which that dollar bill shit is not real money anyway, but I'm just making an example, we'll get much respect. If we had military might, if we was in Esau's place, they'll be looking at us. It don't got nothing to do so called with, so much of skin color. They use that. They use that as a tool, and to some so-called white people, it do matter. Some some Edomites don't want to touch Jake. They don't want to even look at Jake. It's disgusting to them because they were taught that. But it's a lot of especially in the industry, it's a lot of Edomites that marry Jake. It's a lot of so-called white women, Edomite women that love Jake's dirty draws, man, in the industry. So you can't be like, damn, you can't be like, oh, I'm just bummed out because I'm a Negro, because I'm a Latino, Native American. Nah, it's just because we ain't on top right now. The people that are on top with money, like I said, they're the respected people. No matter what, if it was China, China would be respected. Which a lot of people do now, because China is a superpower now. You know, as well as Edom. You know, you ain't never seen these Edomite women in the industry get with Africans, man. You don't never see them get with Moab. It's either Esau or Jacob. And you be wondering why, like, damn, I thought Negroes were broken, poor, and considered as the low class in this society. But yet, we get, we can get to a level where we kind of like, they looking at us like we the ones, which we are. That's why it's like that. But Esau capitalized on his power, so he'll knock us back down. He'll pull the rug. You got certain artists that do well, they shine, and they the king of this, and they the most, they're a sex symbol. They're the most popular. Whitney Houston, she was called the voice, meaning nobody got a voice like her. They didn't call a so-called white woman the voice. This is in Hollywood. You know, they LeBron James, they want to touch him, getting autographs and all that. Same thing with Michael Jordan when he was in his prime. Michael Jackson, you know, Prince. All these artists, and these so-called white kids, and even the Edomite teenagers and so forth, and even the older, they don't look at them like they niggas in the hood. They look at them like superstars. Like, damn, greatness. But you got to be at a certain level. You got to have that money. You got to have certain power, and they do. But the elites always capitalize on it. Like, yeah, y'all might have money, y'all might have a bag, y'all might be famous, but we run y'all ass. We the top family. We the banking family. That's why they don't have to show their face out on the public, because they behind closed doors controlling the masses, and that's how they like to sit, and it makes them feel like kings. Like, yeah, you sit on the throne, you don't have to get up for nobody. You have people doing your work. And when you do get up, people fear. They like, oh shit, the king is up. That means he's about to do something. So that's what they want to have everybody in fear, because they have a brotherhood, they have a family bloodline, you know, ruling class mentality. Let's see, birth, race, class, family, of course. So who got the birthright? Jake. The family of who was the family of Jake Israel? You know. Let me see. So yeah, that's the Latin word for the day, man. Hopefully it was edifying. Shalom.